today I'm going to show you how to make our classic blues and pink vintage bouquet. What we're going to need to start is a sharp scissors, a secateurs if you have one, a jar with some water in to put the bouquet in afterwards, some pins, a little bit of lace, you shouldn't really need any more than this, some ivory ribbon, some twine and a sprayer set on a fine mist. And the type of flowers that we're going to use today is some statice, we've got some double-headed freesia, we've got some veronica, some lovely pink stalks, we've got limonium, and right around here at the back we've got some thistle for a little bit of texture, we've got some beautiful cornflowers, and we've got some barley. The foliage that we're using today is a little bit of parsley, and we're going to make it really rustic and soft and flowing. So the first thing that we need to do is prepare our flowers. Right, to create our vintage bouquet, we tend to need to select kind of softer flowers, more flowing, more kind of country garden. So the cornflowers, the freesias, we've got some veronica, some stalks, some scabious, real nice kind of soft petals. We've got alstroemonia, I've got some mint, which has got subtle little purple flowers. Then we've got some kind of dried feel, which is your statice, your limonium, and some barley. The foliage that I'm going to use is a little bit of parsley because it's very light and delicate, and a little bit tougher for the colour of some eucalyptus. But again, it's up to you what you use. We've also got, for a little bit of texture throughout, a little bit of thistle. Now the best way to prep is just to kind of strip the leaves down to the size that you want, and you can just simply on the parsley kind of just pull down and just leave little tuffets at the top. On your cornflower, they tend to go all the way down, so you just remove the leaves and the stems of how you want it. Barley, because it's mainly dry, you tend to just remove the lower petals. Okay, keep these because this is quite nice and it lends to the texture. Stock is quite soft, so get rid of the lower leaves. And you're just left with that beautiful scented, delicate smell. Freesia again, anything below, they've got kind of little growing parts, just peel that off and just check for any damaged petals, just take them away. Veronica, you want to remove not all the leaves. Normally we would remove all the leaves, but what you want to do is just the lower leaves because you want to give some green throughout. Limonium is quite bushy, but you just kind of want to keep the top bits peeking through. So just remove the lower parts. Mint again, just check your leaves because they come out of the garden. They can wilt a little bit, so just remove lower leaves. Make sure they're in good condition. And again, it's something you can keep in or you can take out. Anything that's been ate, definitely remove those. Then your alstro, they normally come with quite floppy leaves, sometimes they come like this without, and have already been removed, but just run your hands down, there's nothing to hurt, and just remove any leaves that are below. These at the top of the growing point, if there's bad or damaged leaves, just pull them down. But other than that, they're good to go. Scabious, you may get a few that's joint, so just what I would do, take your scissors and just cut off and cut the middle bit out. They do have some leaves as well, you can just simply pull those off. Thistle, you don't really want an awful lot of it, you just want level head, so anything that doesn't meet the level, take away. If it's taller, cut off. And the centre one, just cut out because it's too low. Just cut it down so you're left with lots of these. Again on this one. And if you're making buttonholes, these are really good to keep the shorter ones. We've got some eucalyptus. Obviously we don't want a lot of big leaves in this, we want to keep it quite light, so I would probably just keep, if you need some texture, I wouldn't use a lot of this, and I would probably look for smaller leaves. But it is just to give you a kind of colour rather than the heaviness of it. And then you've got some statice, and what you want to do is you just want to remove all the bits that you don't want. Not too much of this in there, it can take over, so I would just keep this kind of delicate throughout. Maybe towards the ends, give it a little bit of a point, it is up to you, but that's all you kind of need. Once all your flowers are prepped, get them in order. I always find it easier to put together when they're all in order. And then you need a kind of focal point or something that you're going to work from. So with us, it's going to be the barley today, and you're going to put 2 together and different heights. What you're trying to achieve is something quite wild and not too constructive. Like a classic bouquet will be quite constructive and you have everything in its bit. What you want here is talls and shorts and a fall and very loose. Now normally we keep the stems straight, but today I'm going to spiral the stems for you to just show you how it will fan out. And again, size is up to you. You want it bigger, put more stems in. You want it smaller, not so many stems. Corn flour we're going to put next because it does this kind of looseness. Now you need to get your holding point because obviously you need the stems. So you want to put there, don't go over that. So I'm going to just put 2 stems of corn in there. Then I'm going to add a little bit of parsley just to soften it. Now you can see it's already getting a little bit wild. Then I'm going to pop just a little bit of Veronica in it. Just twisting as I go, and a little bit of freesia. Just that intensity of the darker pink helps. Maybe a little bit of mint. And the stems are shorter on mint, so you're going to lower that down a little bit. Then top it off with a real soft scabia. Then I want to add a little bit of texture in now. So I'm going to just pop in your thistle. And again, it doesn't have to be exactly at the same height, but you just need to work your flowers into it. And then just keep adding. I think because you've got some of the barley at the centre, don't forget to add it in as you go along, trying to kind of integrate it nicely. Just keep working it around. Different kind of styles, colours, scents. You can be as loose as you want, or as tight as you want. Ammonia lightens it slightly. Don't forget your corn flour because this is what's going to make it nice and kind of loose. Now you can put it higher if you wish, or you can sink it back down. It's completely up to you. Just keep turning. And keep a look on the top of how it's turning out. And just keep working into the bouquet. Remove any leaves you don't want. And turn any, if the flowers are turning. You want this kind of looseness. Complement on the opposite side. If you loosen scabia, just pull it up. It is the softest of the flowers. Trim off any that doesn't fall into place. Keep checking as you go around. A little bit more starters. And then we're going to just finish off slightly with a little bit more barley. Remove the lower ones, keep the top ones. A little bit lower down the U-curl, not too high because you don't want it to affect the style. And then just finish off a little bit of looseness of the corn. Just keep your eyes on that. Around slightly with the parting. Make sure it all finishes off nicely. And there you go. That's our wild vintage pinks and blues. So just pop your flowers that's left to one side if you have any left. And take some twine, because we're going to just tighten this off slightly, not too tight because we don't want it to be too constricted, but we want it secure enough to hold. So you just normally do like 3 times around, just like so. And then lay it down lightly. Double knot it, and we always double knot to keep it secure. I wouldn't bow it at this time unless you're just going to keep the twine, because we're just going to lace it off. Then we want to remove any little bits, just snip away, any loose bits or any leaves. And you want to cut it off and cut it flat because you don't want it to encourage it to drink anymore. So you want a straight line and it's nicer visually. But I normally do about 2 handfuls down, so I would cut. But it's up to you how long or how short. So just cut off the stems. Nice and flat. A little bit long so we can cut it off. Just check it and trim again if needs be. And then what we need to do is add a surface for our lace to go on. Now you can do this with hessian or you can do it with ribbon. Today I'm going to show you how to do it with ribbon. And this is the knot that you put in. You need to check your bouquet which side you prefer, and the side you prefer is the one furthest away from you, because that's how you'll hold it. Okay? You need to place your thumb on the ribbon above the knot and then pull it quite firmly around. And you kind of crisscross over, okay? And then wrap it around again until you can kind of secure it where you don't have to hold the knot anymore. I'm just going to keep wrapping around. Now how wide you do this is completely up to you. I've got quite a medium-sized lace, so I can get away with a couple of inches. If you've got a wide lace, it needs to be wider than a lace, even if it's only a ribbon thickness. And what thickness of ribbon you use, again, is your choice. I kind of like the 25mm. Keeps it nice and tight, but it's up to you. Keep it going. Hide any kind of stems that are a little bit shorter. You can normally do it with about 1 metre of ribbon, but it's again, if you've got it on the roll, use it on the roll. If not, then cut it how long or short you want. Right, once you reach the bottom, get a nice straight line, because we're actually going to go back up the stem. We do this because we secure it. So you get your straight line, and then it's much easier to wrap up the stem. You can use wider motions because you've already done all the hard work. Go up to the top and secure around the top one more time, and then come back halfway. Come halfway down because we're going to run the lace halfway around the middle of the ribbon, so we need the lace to hide the edge of the ribbon. Okay, cut off any excess that you don't need. With your lace, and you don't need any longer than that, you're only going to really wrap it around once, maybe twice. I normally put the frilly side to the bottom, but it's up to you. And what you need to do is just pull this quite firm, but not enough that you're going to stretch the lace. And what you need to do is anything as you go up, like this scraggly end, tuck up as you go. Then when you come to the end, you need to bend it back because you don't want to show any workings whatsoever, but make sure it's kind of spot on. Tuck any loose ends up under so you can't see them. And then with your pins, you're going to secure it all. So, just take to the end, and we want it in about 20% angle really. So you pop it in and push it up. That way it doesn't come through the back and you're nice and safe. And then you take a second pin, and it's up to you how many you put in and how wide you put it in. If you feel too much of a resistance, it's hit a woody stem, don't keep pushing, pull it out and do it again, because if it do happen to catch, little pearl beads can come off and the metal can go into your finger, so be careful. Last one to finish off. Just tidy up the edges, do a last minute check, and there you have your vintage finished lace. What I would do is give the stem bottoms a little squirt to encourage them to keep drinking, and then a nice light spray because they will drink through their leaves and it keeps them nice and fresh. Then they're ready to pop into your little jam jar. You don't need any more than an inch of water because you don't want it going on there. Store them in a cool, non-drafty place, not in a windowsill, overnight, and it's ready for the morning. Thank you for watching.